Welcome again, everyone. If you've not seen this this fine automobile right here yet, I purchased it, I don't know, 3-4 months ago now, and it's been kind of waiting its turn to get some attention. Did a couple things just to kind of get it roadworthy and more or less so we can try it out, make sure everything's working on it. And to my surprise, there's a lot of things that need fixing on a almost 30-year-old vehicle. So we need to put new pads and rotors on this front end here. We've got some we got to do something about the timing of this engine, because there's a lot of fuel in it. I've tried taking some of it out, but it's got bigger injectors and it's got delivery valves, and it just does not have enough air. We're gonna be diving into that. Another big thing that I want to address here soon, it's not really critical, but we live in Florida down here. It rains more often than not, and I'm not sure if it's the window. I tried sealing it up, but there's a crack, not a crack, there's a rust spot here in the cab in this area. I did put some silicone over it temporarily to try to mitigate the water getting into the cab, but I think it might be leaking also from the clearance lights up there, so we need to look into that. But real quick, if there's somebody who does auto glass, I have another window from a parts truck. But basically, if there's anybody that's centrally located in Florida, around Central Florida, does that make sense? If I want to do it myself, it's just one of those things where I want to learn everything I can about vehicles. That's just who I am. And basically, if there's somebody that does this that would be able to come out on a Saturday and help me maybe assist in removing this one and or the other one and figuring out, I do have to do some patching up here before I can put the other one on. So anyhow, if you're located in Central Florida and you would be available some Saturday, send me an email down below so we can get in contact and maybe hopefully figure something out. If not, I'll figure it out one way or another. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on some brakes, some mechanical stuff, try to get it more safe than it is and not smoke so much. And then we're going to be diving into some suspension on the back here. It's no surprise that I like air suspension, so that's what we're putting on the back here. And we're going to be trying to do a little series on this whole truck, but more so I want to do something that's basically something along the lines of, you know, anybody, a 4-link anybody can do, or just try to explain it the simplest I can, answer some questions about 4-link in a vehicle, and go from there. So that's not in this video, but it's coming up. First, we're going to address some of our problems here and go from there. I'm getting ready to start tearing down this here whole assembly. We've got to take off the caliper, I guess caliper bracket, and then we got to take off the axle nut. We got to figure out how to get that apart. But sometimes I get asked questions like, "How did you learn how to do this? How do you, you know, where did you go to school somewhere?" Blah blah blah. And me, I like to figure things out. I just like knowing how things work. And doing it that way, I just figure I start something and I'll figure it out as I go. But it's not always the case with some things. Sometimes I'm working on something and it's like, man, I wish I really had had some knowledge on this or some information. So with that being said, if you have not heard of e-manuals online, go check them out. There'll be a link in the description below. Basically, this is a service manual for this here model truck. And anyhow, they reached out to us a little while ago and said, "Hey, would you be interested in partnering with us and kind of showing off our manuals?" And I said, absolutely, because there's some things, like I said, like brakes are, I would say, somewhat simple. Once you do one or two, you kind of understand the basics of it and get to know what to do there. But there's other things that, as far as engine-wise, that maybe you need some specs on something that you don't. You know, you can go like most people do and watch YouTube and so on and so forth. But if you have a service manual, it makes things kind of easy in terms of, all right, this is what I'm going to do, or this is the job I'm doing. I can go in here and research and say, okay, here's what I need to look for. Here's what needs to change. All kinds of stuff. So this is I'm pretty sure a factory service manual. But anyhow, there'll be a link in the description for e-manual online, as well as a discount code if you're interested. And it's not just trucks; they also have it. I mean, pretty much you name it, they probably have it. So go check them out for any of your needs, whether that just be engine specific stuff or vehicles, heavy machinery. I'm pretty sure boats and stuff like that too. So go check them out. We're going to be kind of using this here to go along and help us with this brake install, as well as I'm going to look and see. I'm sure there is something with timing the pump, which we're going to be doing as well. Well, we're going to be advancing it, but we also need to figure out how to time it. So anyhow, like I said, I think this is a factory service manual. Let me go to the top. So here we go, 95 factory service manual. Let's get to work. All right, so I used the improper socket because apparently I can't find the proper one that I used last time on the other truck. And I can't remember if this, can't remember what you got to do here. So we're going to go to our handy dandy trusty manual and see if, because the hub and the rotor is one piece, but I can't remember. Do we have to unbolt the hub back? That's what it is. Yeah, I'm a dummy. I need to unbolt the hub. So as I was explaining it, I was remembering what to do, but if we scroll down here to in our service manual, we go down and it gives us our steps of what we need to do here, which are remove the outer axle nut, got that off, and then right here, remove bolts that secure rotor and hub to steering knuckle. Bolts are accessible from inboard / backside, or parentheses back side of steering knuckle, which there's 4 bolts there. This here side has most likely been off before. I mean, both sides have more likely been off before. Hopefully there's more than once. And usually once you do them once, they come out pretty easy. We're about to find out with the hammer. I'm beating on the rotor because we're replacing the rotors. Obviously you wouldn't want to do that if you were saving them, which you don't need to go this far if you're just replacing pads on it, pads and calipers, but we're replacing the rotors in here as well. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. But a trick that sometimes they're a pain to get out, you can take a stud like so, put 2 or 3 threads in it, and then find you the right combination of sockets and extensions. And basically you can put your socket on the stud and then figure out how to bottom it out on the knuckle here, and then use the power steering to kind of break the seal on the hub. So we're going to try it obviously without doing that and see if we can make it work or not. So now, since these studs are basically no good, I'm just gonna beat them out. But this is how you separate the rotor from the hub itself. Just beat these studs out. So this driver side is gonna be apart for a little while longer because we're gonna be waiting on studs now. So it's gonna be a few days before we can do all that, put it back together on this side. But this is obviously, this hub may need to be replaced. It's got just ever so slight amount of play in it. So I'm gonna compare it to the other side and see if it's the same, or it may be all right. It seems okay, but probably best to replace it. So did anybody else realize what we were missing over there on the other side? I'll give you about 2 seconds. Ah, yes, that's what we were missing, some light. So Odelphi has sent us out these here strip lamps, headlamps. We are going to be trying this out Got a discount code there. There's also, I should have a discount code down there in the description as well as a link to these. But basically, let's see, we have power. Oh yeah, we got power. All right, so basic, rechargeable. Not a whole lot really here to go over, but it's got power. I'm not sure what that does. I guess we could probably read the instructions, but we're just gonna go ahead and put it to use, and we'll figure it out as we go. So they sent us out 2 of them to try out. I'm gonna go ahead and give one of these away. So first person to follow my Instagram, if you're already following, awesome. But send me a first person to send me a direct message saying, hey, I want the headlamp. Send me an address where you want it, and I'll send it over to you. So if you are not already following my Instagram, there should be a link in the description. And yeah. So besides the fact that my hair looks like a total goon, but this thing keeps the hair out of my eyes, and now we can see what we're doing. So yeah, go check out Odelphi. Link will be in the description if you're in the market for a headlamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking this side apart, and I did wind up going ahead and ordering some front hub bearings. So we're gonna be waiting here on the front for a little bit to put it back together. Not to worry, we have plenty of other things to do, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this side apart just like I did the other, and we're gonna move on to the next order of business here. So this is the one off the driver's side. It's got a small amount of play. This one has about the same, but I went ahead and ordered 2 more. So we're just gonna wait on those till they get here. So next order of business we're gonna work on, I think, is going to be retiming. Setting this to something like 17.5, 18 degrees of timing, thereabouts. So we're gonna need to start removing a few things here and there to make it a little easier for us to work on. Hey man, what are you doing down there?
Taking out a hat. Is that alright?
What's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
Alright, so old buddy here showed up, and I've been working on getting this thing retimed. I'm not going to go into depth because it's a pain. I'll explain briefly. There's plenty of other more detailed ways of how you time this thing, but I'll give you the brief synopsis. So there's a pin that slots into the back of the cam, and the problem with this is it's in a weird spot. It's always froze up if it's not more or less used frequently, which it never is really unless you're timing it or adjusting valves. So, and you can't really see it from here. You have to kind of know what you're looking for. But basically you get the engine time top dead center, and then you take this plug out. If you can see what I'm shining at, let me see if I can get it better. But there's a plug on the pump itself. You take that out. It's got a little plastic teeth that you can shove up in there to more or less hold the pump at its timing. So the stock timing is at 12.5 degrees. That's according to the tag right there. I'm gonna go for like 17 just so it's it's not really aggressive, but it should help us hopefully with some of the issues we're having. But basically, once you do that, once you get it timed, you should break. So you need a barring tool or some way to hold the engine, so you can break the nut here on the pump gear, which I've done already. So that's what old buddy was down on the floor doing, holding the engine for us. So basically break that free, get the engine pinned, get the pump pinned, and then we can put our timing wheel on here, and then we need to rig up a pointer so that we can set it at 12.5 basically, and then we can time it to what we need. So we're gonna work on that right now. Okay, everything's back together. One thing that if you don't already know, if you're retiming or if you take the pump gear off at any point in time, that you use basically a whole can of brake clean to get that thing clean, because it's a tapered shaft, and if there's any kind of oil or any kind of residue in there, it's just going to slip and it's going to lose the timing that you just put into it. So I didn't show that. It's just been whatever. I'm gonna leave the intake boot off for the time being, just so I can see if I did it right or not, and we're about to see if this thing's gonna start. Well, it didn't blow up, did it? Yep.
Looks like it's still in one piece.
All right, well, I won't really know what it's gonna do until we can get everything back together, but that's one less thing that I wanted to do to this thing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stick the charge pipe back on and move on to the next task.
Where are we going?
All right, we're unbolting the bed, so I want you to try to figure this out yourself. Easy, buddy. Yep. You're in the right direction. Now watch, you're gonna get stuff all in your eyeballs if you don't. Here you go. Keep all the way out. Yep. Don't lose those.
Still falling by.
What do you think about that headlamp?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
All right, you got two more on the other side just like it. We'll strip it out now.
Alright.
Well, what do you say?
Looks beautiful now. You're gonna just rip her like this, right?
Yep, rip it around just like this. No front wheels or nothing. Just wheelie everywhere. All right, well, that's gonna wrap up this rendition of whatever we're gonna call this. I'm not sure yet, but next part we're gonna be more or less 4-link in the back end, and we're probably gonna start on this before we get the parts for the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and start disassembling stuff, and we're gonna I'm gonna try to make a video explaining a simple way of fabricating your 4-link, so on and so forth. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. That'll be all for now.